Hey guys, what's going on? This is Lee Boone, and I wanted to talk to you today about the process of closing business in person. Uh, wow. So one of so someone came up to me one day, and they know I've been doing sales for over 10 years, and so I definitely have made my share of blunders, and they wanted to know from me, from my experience, how I could break down what was the pathway to getting the sale? What was the pathway to being most successful? Well, I thought about this and I wrote it out, and I wanted to take the time to share with you because, my friend found great value in what I was sharing with him. So I definitely wanted to bring that value to you today as well. So the first thing you must know when you're in sales is you can't be afraid to fail. Most of the time, if you think that you're going to go out there and out of every 10 opportunities you are going to make 10 sales, you are kidding. And anybody that's trying to lead you to believe that that's what's going to happen, they're kidding too. You have to be afraid to fail. You have to be willing to take rejection. And you have to be able to cut through the bull. There are 3 steps that I want to really share with you when it talks about, making sales and whatever you're doing. Whether it's selling magazines, whether it's selling makeup, whether it's selling home improvement products, doesn't really matter what it is. There is a process there. People want to buy from you when the value is built up. And so there's really 2 steps, but it's a 3-step process. The 3rd step is just more or less the close, and I'll get to that. But the 3-step process is the problem, the 2nd one is solution, and the 3rd one is price. So when we talk about the problem, so let's spend a little bit of time on the problem. When we're talking about the problem to the customer, when we're coming out there or they're coming to us, and let's just say for the sake of, it doesn't even matter, but you can think of a problem in your profession that you offer solutions to. And when you're talking about those problems, the first thing that people get a lot of hang up on and tripped up on is they kind of let the customer dictate the flow of how things go. You have to have command over the situation. You have to be able to navigate that process the way that you want it. So you need to think about how you want the setting to be. If you're doing something like a kitchen table appointment, I do insurance. So if I'm doing something like a kitchen table appointment, the ideal setting for me is I want to qualify the person before I go to see them, and then once I qualify the person before I go and see them, and that may entail just their overall interest in buying insurance. I want to make sure they're interested in it. I don't want to waste my time. The next thing is, I want to be able to come into their home. If I'm getting some resistance at the door and everything like that, then something didn't go right. I want to make sure that I'm able to be in a position where I'm sitting down at the table, and that way we have an environment where we're ready to talk about business. Another thing is I want to make sure that all of the parties that are going to help make the decision are involved. I do not want to sit down in a situation where all of the parties who are involved in the decision process isn't there. And sometimes I have to walk away from people in that capacity because the last thing I want to do is waste my time. I'm so intentional about my time that I don't want people to waste it by me going over the problems and the solutions with them only for them to say, I need to talk to my spouse. I want that spouse there with me right then, right there, so we can answer any and all questions, because we need to make a decision now. And I learned from this girl, a great mentor, Nicole Cooper. I learned about hunting, and that means I'm trying to get activity now. I'm trying to get things done now. I don't want pipeline sales. They're nice, but I also want to get my sales for the day because my family's got to eat. So I'm intentional about my time with that. So when we're sitting down and we're talking about the problem, one of the things that we're talking about is why I'm there, what the situation is, what's going on. and they need to see the problem with me. So you need to be able to either paint a picture, or you need to be able to show an illustration that paints the picture. You have to be a really good storyteller, and you have to master imagery. You have to be able to paint a real clear picture and make sure that the customer sees that you know what you're talking about, and they can understand and identify with the picture that you're painting. So for instance, if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to sell insurance, one of the things that's a problem is when people die, they're leaving their family in disarray. So I'm going to paint that picture for them. I'm going to paint that picture for them, and I'm going to poke at the pain as much as I can. So when I'm poking at that pain, they can feel that. And what I'm doing even before I get there is I'm going to find out a little bit about them and what's important to them in my core rapport, which is children, occupation, recreation, and also emotional temperature. But that's another subject. But I've already done the core. I'm sitting down with them at the table, and we're talking about the problem. Now, the problem is, when you die, what's going to happen? And that's the things that I'm going to spend time on. I'm going to spend time on how those children are affected, how the bills are affected. I'm going to spend time on all of those things and a plethora of things. And I'm really going to pulse check in. I'm going to ask them, you see what I mean? You know what I mean? Can you understand why that's important? Can you see why that's a problem? I'm going to do those types of things with that particular set of people. And I want them to agree with me on the problem. No matter if they rush me on what the solution is or what the prices are, I need to make sure that I maintain control of the situation, and I want to let them know I'm going to get to the price. I just need to make sure that that there are no questions before I get there. So I'm going through the process. So you do whatever you got to do and based on your personality, but you want to basically keep them on path and identify the problem. If they can't agree with you and see that you have the that the problem that you're painting isn't a problem for them, you either need to do one or two things. You need to recalculate and regroup on addressing the problem again. And I usually say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I wasn't making myself clear. Here's why this is a problem for you. And then I go right back in. But if we can't get past the problem, there's really no need to talk about the solution. Because if somebody can't see a problem, they're not going to be interested in your solution. So don't get caught up in just going through the process. You have to make sure that this person or these people that are with you during the presentation, they understand that and they're on the same page with you. The next phase is the solution. So now you've identified the problem. Now you've got them in agreement that that's a problem. Now you've got them thinking about those things. Maybe they've shed a few tears. Maybe they've, got excited about it, or whatever emotion is invoked in the spill of the problem. Now it's time to talk about the solution. So, when I do home inspections, right? So I do home inspections, and during the home inspections, I'm talking to them about the solutions to their problem. So, for instance, if they've got a moisture problem underneath the house, I'll say to them, hey, listen, you already agree that you've got a moisture problem under the house, blah, 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 blah. Look, here's the solution. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the features of the solution. What I want to do is I want to tie in the benefits of the solution to the customer, to let them know why this is important for them. Because it's all about creating value. So I'm sitting there and I'm explaining to them why this process is very, very important in getting their problem, fixing their problem. Once I do that, then I need them to understand, before I talk to them about the price, I need them to understand and be in agreement with me that this is the solution. Very key. Because there's no need to talk about the price, which is what I consider my baby. There's no need to talk about the price if I haven't built up enough value for them. I always remember this, and I don't know where you come from, but growing up where I grew up, we would see crackheads, and they would beg, borrow, and steal for money to earn crack. And they would do whatever they got to do. They compromise themselves. They do whatever they got to do. Well, buyers are the same way. When they see value in what they want, they will do whatever they can and whatever they can't to try to get the money together to accomplish what it is they want to accomplish. So your job isn't to try to pull money out of people. Your job is to tap into their heart. Once you tap into their heart, then they'll go and get the money. They won't play games with you. They won't say, "Oh, I don't have that money." It'll go from "I don't have that money" to "How can I get that money?" It's a different language. So you have to be patient in that process. Once they understand the solutions, then you can give the price. Now, a lot of people do a lot of different things. And depending on what you're selling, maybe there are some options to the price. Maybe you have finance options to your price. Maybe you have monthly payments. Maybe you have a delayed payment option. Maybe you got 90 days same as cash. I don't know. Maybe you have to get the money up front. Maybe you can take a percentage up front and get the other on the back end. I don't know what it is. But I always feel like if the level of transparency has to be so crystal clear that there is no games about it. And also, when you're giving the price, you have to look them in their eye and you have to say the price with confidence. You cannot stutter during this time, because if you do, people are going to detect that and they're going to say, well, he isn't comfortable about giving me that price, then it must be something uncomfortable about what he's offering. You need to have and invoke confidence and assurability and guarantee that what you are offering is something that is guaranteed to work. Once you do that and you're comfortable with that, then you know that they have a chance to be comfortable. My mother always told me you can't love someone more than they love themselves. Well, you can't invoke confidence into people unless you have that confidence. So if you're offering something that you don't believe in, you need to change up the game and you need to go and offer something that you do believe. Now, when you give that price, my recommendation is don't give them the lowest option. Don't give them the finance option first. You know, a lot of people make mistakes like this. But if they say no to your best offer, then you have nowhere else to go. Offer them with confidence the most ridiculous offer that you have. And a lot of times, to build value before you get to the price, start talking about the things they can expect if they don't act on getting this taken care of. I used to love sitting out in front of a customer and telling them, hey, listen, if you don't do anything about this problem, you know, your fungus and moisture can maturate into a process where you can have wood decay so bad that in a situation you may need to get your floors gutted. Now, the last time I checked, I went to Home Depot and it was $7,300 just to get the flooring. That's not including somebody putting it in. And that's if you wanted the hardwood floors. So if that's the case, do you have $7,300? I'm especially pushing that if the price of what I'm offering is higher than that. And I'll harp on that. Nobody wants to pay $7,300. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Boom, 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 boom. Or I say, hey, even worse, if you try to get somebody else to come in and install those floors, you know, you might be looking at $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000. That's a lot of money, isn't it? You don't want to have to do that. And homeowners insurance is going to cover it. So those are the types of things I leverage to them. Then once I do that, then I sit back and I say, okay, listen, for us to come in and take care of this, this, and this, it's going to cost, and pay attention, it's going to cost you $3,487. I say it slow, I say it with confidence, and I look them in their eyes. I want them to understand that this is their home in this situation. So I want them to understand this is the value. A lot of times if people have a problem with the price, I'll make a comparison, which is what I like to call reduced to ridiculous. You can break things down. If something is $30 a month, I'll say, look, it's $1 a day. Or if somebody is saying, man, you know, $3,847 is just too much, I'll say to them, listen, you know, your home is worth about $300,000. And this is the equivalent of a $20,000 car getting an oil change. Everything needs to have routine maintenance. And if you don't get this thing taken care of, you can look forward to further damage. I'm really harping on and leveraging the what if to the customer. If they say they can't afford the $3,800 or whatever it is, $3,847, I think I said, then what you can say to them is say, okay, well, we have some different options, and a lot of people don't have that kind of money, but we have some different options. Do you think, how long do you think you could come up with the money? Well, I can come up with it in a couple of months, but I can't do anything. Well, sir, I understand that you can come up with it in a couple of months, and I'll tell you what we'll do here. Okay? We'll go ahead and we'll get the work scheduled now, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you qualified for our delayed payment option. This option will allow you 90 days to pay without any interest, and you can pay on it in day 89 if you want to. But this will allow us to come out and get the work done on your house as early as tomorrow. I'm always closing my price with an assumptive close. So I'll say it's $3,847. And we can be out here on Tuesday, or we can be out here on Thursday. Which day works best for you? I'm assuming they want to fix their problem. I'm assuming that their house is important to them. And if I catch anything back from them that's different, my reaction is going to be, really? So those are the steps that I wanted to share with you. Just to recap, you got your problem, you've got your solution, and you've got your price. The price is your baby. As soon as you give your price, you have nothing left. And if you didn't build value in what you're selling, then it is not going to matter whether your price is high or low. They're not going to buy from you anyway. So build value in what you do. Just like you saw value in this video. Just like you're going to take the things that I'm telling you and implement them, and you're going to find out that you're more successful. Learn how to start walking away from deals. Even though you want the deal, learn how to start having a position of integrity. Learn how to start standing for something before you continue to fall for everything. Learn how to hold on to your horses and believe in what you're doing. But give the problem and agree with the problem. Get them to agree with the problem. Give them the solution and get them to agree with your solution. And if they can agree with your problem and they can agree with your solution, there is a great chance they're going to agree with your price. And if they don't, you can work things out just like I showed you. For more tips like this and understanding how to do that, you can click the link below. We actually understand that the wave of the world today is internet marketing. I mean, for instance, back in 2012, there was $213 billion in marketing spent by businesses online. So everything's kind of going to online. So that's one of the reasons that I'm transitioning now from doing those types of sales into doing sales through internet. And if you're interested in trying to do something like that, if you're interested in getting on a team that is going to show you how to take that type of massive action where you can earn money from home, earn money in your spare time to supplement your income and or replace your income, again, just click the link below. We'd love to have you on the team. We'd love to be able to share and intercede with you, and we'd love to give you the knowledge that you can take, that you can do something to change you and your family's life, just like I'm doing right now. Take care.